Welcome to Answers Unleashed, a talk show to help you reshape your brain with science and faith to find the answers in front of you. Now, I am Olympia LePoint, and if you've been listening to these podcasts, you know that I'm a rocket scientist, as well as I have a way for people to reshape their brain so they find answers and solutions in their lives so they can overcome adversity. Now, you may not know that, or maybe you do, that I'm a spiritual person. I believe that science and spirituality, especially God, are actually one. I truly, just me personally, Olympia LePoint believes that God created science, and science explains how God's processes work. And as we understand more about science, we understand how this large universe actually operates. So with that today, I want to ask you a question. Do you think prayer can change situations? Do you think prayer can actually help create a way for people to move out of addictions or trauma of their life? Or do you pray yourself? Do you believe in prayer? It's so fascinating for me personally. Here on Answers Unleashed, I believe in actually merging two things that people seem to separate, science and faith. And so today I am excited because I'm going to share with you a little bit about prayer. Prayer, in my eyes, is an opportunity for people to actually move in line with what it is that they're supposed to do in life. And there's actually three types of prayers, and they're not always equal. The first type of prayer that actually does not work at all is what we call worry. It's the type of prayer that negates that there's a bigger system at play, that God's not working, that we just think that we can have all the answers ourselves. And so when we worry about situations, we're in a sense thinking that we have all the answers without other forces interplaying in the mix. So it's not effective. And that's actually the first type of prayer, which I call worry. The second is what I call the personal type of well-being prayer. Have you ever wanted so badly to be with a guy or girl, or wanted so badly to get a certain job, and all you could pray for is that? Well, sometimes when we pray for these worldly desires, it negates our true potential. Suppose there's someone better out there for you. Suppose there's an even better job where you have a chance not only make hundreds of thousands, but you can make millions. So sometimes that aspect of focusing on that doesn't necessarily pay off or give you your full potential. And then there's the third type. That's full alignment. I call it the full alignment prayer, where you decide and trust that God, or however you see is the controller of the universe, aligns things together, and you decide to trust the universe and trust how things are working, and you ask to be in that flow. And you ask that whatever is good, whatever is best for you as well as the people who are around you happens. And doesn't matter the time frame, but you ask that the best happens for everyone. And so today, I have a guest with me that her story is so powerful. I wanted you, my audience, to hear how powerful this story is that she is about to tell. Today, I have what I call my newest Einsteins. These are individuals who transform their lives and find ways to overcome situations through their unique processes. And so today we have Barbra Stover. Barbra is a luxury estates director at Rodeo Realty. Now you have no idea what she looks like at first. And so when some of you look at the YouTube videos with the podcast, you're actually going to see how beautiful this ex-model is sitting here next to me. She is one of the top award-winning real estate directors here in Beverly Hills. She has been seen on HGTV as well as Bravo as a luxury home specialist. She has sold homes to great people, including the Bus family of the Lakers. So some of you sports fans out there will know who I'm talking about. So she has a holy estate method that she's going to talk to you about. And she's going to tell you about her story. So for right now, please welcome Barbra Stover. How are you?
I'm good, Olympia. Thank you so much for bringing me here. I mean, this is just great. I'm excited to just tell everybody what God has done for me.
See, thank you. Thank you so much. People need to understand how important God is and how important He is in creating solutions. in people's lives and helping us co-create solutions in our lives.
Right.
Now, let's talk about your accomplishments for a brief second. Tell us about what it is that you have done.
Oh my gosh, I've sold millions of dollars. I've sold homes all over West LA, Beverly Hills, Marina Del Rey, $3 million homes, my first sale was $2.5 million home. Second sale was $3 million. And it just kept going on, and it's just amazing of what God has done. I've used my personality, my talents, I love people so much, and I love homes, and I just care about people. And that's why I got into the business, because I really, really deeply care for my clients. I want them happy in their decision.
And they are all very happy. You specialize in luxury home sales. Yes. You sell all over the West LA area, yes, as well as you branch out, and you've been so specialized and successful in this. HGTV has had you on several different shows,
yes,
as well as the Bravo Network. Tell us more about that.
I've been asked to be a guest on $1 Million Listing LA, and Selling LA. I was asked to be a guest, and it's so much fun just to be on camera and just to look at homes and talk to agents and give my opinion. What I think about a home, or what my buyer would like in a home and what they don't like in a home.
And you can actually get inside someone's head and see what's the best value.
Correct. And you listen. I listen to my clients as to what they want, and that's what I do.
And I'm so impressed. You have such an award-winning background, and I'm so impressed because you had to find value in your own life.
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily just laid out there on a cart or a silver platter for you to just take success. You actually had to realize your own value.
Exactly. And the thing is I know what my clients value. I look at other values, the value of homes. And now that I saw my value, but I did not know my value back then.
Okay. And so for those of you who will be listening or who will be watching, Barbra has gone through a lot. And when I first heard your story, I was just completely floored. We were at lunch, and it was several years ago, and you told me about how you had to overcome a lot. And it first started when you were 10 years old. What happened exactly? So our audience can share. And I purposely want you to share your beautiful story because there's listeners who will be completely relating to your background.
Yes, and it's very deep. I've never really talked about my background and my life story, and so this is my first time coming out.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. Coming out, sharing your particular story.
My story. When I was 10, and I love my parents very much, and this is all they knew. But when I was 10, I don't know, 10 or 11, I wanted to hang out with my girlfriend. See, I want to tell everybody I'm Latin. My maiden name is Lopez, so I'm soy Latina, and I speak Spanish. I'm bilingual. So, of course, growing up in the Mexican culture, I wanted to see my girlfriend who's white. And I remember my mom said, "You have no business hanging out with them. They're white. They don't want a Mexican girl like you going over there." And that's when I said, okay, well, this is it. This is all I can accomplish. And
so they had a limited background. They didn't have.
It was very limited, and we also had the religion very strict, also, which very conservative. So it was just basically, I had like the horses when they have the blinders on the sides of their eyes. That's basically all I could see, because that's all they knew. But she was a powerful lady, praying woman, which I really adore, and I'll talk about that later. But I didn't understand then, and she wanted me to get married at 16 and just work in an office, and of course there's no way I can do that.
So your life continued, and then you wanted to get out there and you wanted to see people. And when you were 20, was it 20 years old?
When I had my first boyfriend.
Your first boyfriend. It wasn't necessarily the best situation.
Oh, no.
And I know there's a lot of women out there who will relate to this experience.
Yes, it was when I was 20, I finally got out of the house. And of course, from a restricted family, very conservative, it was like it was just crazy. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I loved somebody who was very abusive. And I mean, I still cry when I talk about it, but he was very abusive. It was verbally abusive, not hitting me. He did push me, but it was verbally abusive. And I thought that was normal. I don't know why. So I was with him for 2 years, and I finally broke it off. But when at the time,
during that time,
at that time, I know there was times when he really pushed me to the edge where I had a nervous breakdown, destroyed my apartment. He told me he was going to take me to Disneyland and to be ready, and I was so excited. I was so happy. I got ready. I was just livid, and I was just so happy. He calls me right before midnight and told me, "Do you think I would really take you? Do you really think I would be seen with you and take you to Disneyland for New Year's Eve after I was ready?"
Oh, such a disappointment and heartbreak.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was really sad. So I just felt, I destroyed my place. I took some pills. I wanted to die. I tried to slit my wrist. And I called 911 and they took me away.
You called 911?
I did, because I was scared of what I was going to do to myself. Yes, that's how he did a lot more, but that was just what really I just felt discouraged and sad about myself, about me.
So you called 911, you were...
So I was held for a 24-hour observation. And then the first thing I did was call him crying and said it was my fault.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
I know, this is what happens when I hear other people who have been abused. It's always their fault. But
they don't know their value.
They don't know their value.
They don't know their value.
But now I know, and now I can talk to these girls who have been abused. Now, I mean, there's so much I want to do.
Well, I'm so happy that you're sharing this.
Yes.
And you continue, because it changed. You went back with them, and then you said that you were with him for a while.
Another year.
And then you broke up with him finally.
I finally left after he was drunk off his butt, and he was drinking vodka straight. And I finally looked at him. I was in tears, and I said, "You know what? I'm leaving. I can't take this anymore." You know, he would pee in his pants, and it was just horrible.
That was a wake up.
It was a wake-up call, and I finally grabbed my things. I left, and he said, "You will never find anyone else like me. You'll never leave me. You'll be back." And I said, "Watch me." I grabbed my stuff. I got in my car, and I cried all the way to my apartment. Thank God I still had my place. And after that, I did have another nervous breakdown. I had to leave town for a while, and nobody really knows about this, not even my family or relatives. So this is just now coming out. And I think it's time.
Well, I'm so thankful, because there are people, there are women, there are men that are listening to this story and who will change their lives.
Yes.
And so you left, and then you created a new double life for yourself. Is that right? I mean, I find you very creative, because you found a way to be able to have fun and maintain a responsible life.
I did.
You had two worlds.
Yes.
You literally had two worlds that you were dealing with. So you shared that you left the situation. Your mother was praying for you. You saw your cousin.
Thank God, my mom was always a prayer warrior, always praying for me in the background. But I was out dating, going crazy, just dating people. And then I started drinking and started doing the drugs and started going to the Beverly Hills, the modeling parties in the Hollywood Hills, Playboy Mansion parties, started spiraling down.
And spiraling down. And people usually think that when you go to all these parties, it's glamorous. But there's a different side to it.
I thought it was glamorous. I really did, until I started seeing the way people were treating you and they didn't care. And the drinking, it was really, really sad, very, very discouraging. The drugs and the cocaine, I just wanted to die. I really did.
And so, would you say that you were trying to self-cope during all that?
I was trying to. Let me back up. I wanted acceptance. I wanted acceptance. I didn't get acceptance when I was, I guess, I don't know, younger. There were just so many things happening. I wanted acceptance in the world. I was 5'10". I was bullied in school. I was called lurch, two-ten-toely, totem pole, toothpick. I was laughed at in high school, elementary school. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't know if they know how tall I am, but I was from abusive relationship. I was bullied to abusive relationship. I just wanted acceptance. I wanted to fit in.
And you were trying to fit in with what the world would think was wonderful, what everyone on the outside would think would be marvelous and would be glamorous and famous. But in reality, the acceptance had to come from you.
It did have to come from me, but I was just looking elsewhere, and it was, I just started drinking. I didn't know what else to do, so I had alcohol poisoning. I was in the hospital, and you would think that I would quit drinking from that. I drank the next week. I just kept going and going, and my girlfriend saw that, and I knew God was in my heart. I knew God was there, but he was tucked away in my heart. But my mom, I know she just kept praying and praying and praying because she knew I was spiraling down. And the alcohol poisoning did not stop me. What stopped me was another situation, which I don't know if you want to talk about now or.
Well, so your story is amazing.
I could go on and on,
which is a great thing, and I feel your story is so amazing, and young girls will see you and see your success, and they will know that they can value themselves. And with your particular area of expertise, you encountered somebody that had faith. And I realized that sometimes in the middle of a transition period, people come into our lives and will change our complete trajectory of our life simply by their presence and how they choose to operate and be in life. And you had two people. You had a roommate, and you had a person who would later become your loving husband.
Yes.
So,
it was. I was looking for a roommate in Marina Del Rey, and all of a sudden, this Laura, she comes, said, "I'm calling on your ad for a roommate." So I said, "Sure." We got along great, and here she is with the Bible. She's Christian, and she had a Bible, and she's like, "God loves you." And I said, "I don't want to hear it. My mom told me all about it. I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me about that." And every day she kept with the Bible and how God loves you. And this is what she told me. God accepts you the way you are. He loves you. He accepts you. And I said, "He doesn't love me." And she's kept saying, "Yes, he does. He accepts you." And it was just an eye-opener when she kept telling me about that. And I finally listened to her. Yes.
And so you listened to her, and she invited you somewhere.
She invited me to church. So we went to this great church, non-denominational church in Hollywood, and I loved it. And we started going, and I went to the altar, gave my life to God, and I was just bawling. I was crying. It was like this luggage was on my, heaviness was on my shoulders, and I ran to the altar, gave it all down. I just said, "Here, God, take it all, because I can't do this anymore." But I did. There was a time in my room, I prayed for 2 hours. I was crying and crying before this happened. This was about a month ago. I was in my room.
A month before this particular event when you went to church.
Yes,
yeah.
I started crying and just praying because I just couldn't take it anymore. I know I had to change. If not, I would definitely die. I would be dead.
And your story is similar with the millions of people, because once they decide to change, there's situations in their life. I realize people come into their lives to offer a trajectory, and I actually talk about that in my episode 2, the brain attraction. And there's people that come into our lives to direct us into 2 different places, and in that process, we also have decisions that make, and there's actually some things that seem really bad that happens in that process. And while we have a couple of minutes here, you had something that was really traumatic happen to you, and let's just briefly talk about that.
Okay, so I started going to church, but of course the devil likes to pull you down.
Or forces that are against God.
Against God. Yeah, just wants to just pull you down. I was attacked. I was raped.
But you survived.
But I survived.
You survived.
I did. And my husband, my boyfriend, my husband, who was my boyfriend at that time, found me. He hugged me and he prayed. I was crying. I was crying, and I said, this is the last time I'm going to drink, smoke, do drugs, anything again, because I think they put something in my drink. I was out with these guys, and I was drinking, and
you were taken advantage of.
I was taken advantage of, and the alcohol poisoning, that didn't stop me. What stopped me was the look on my husband's eyes, my boyfriend at that time, when he hugged me and just prayed, and that's when I stopped.
In that moment, your life changed.
In that moment, it changed. In that moment,
it completely changed.
When I knew I was going to lose him, I was going to lose everything.
So you were going to lose the life in which you were building, which would be a healthy relationship.
Right.
You were on the verge of losing a life in which would later prove successful.
Right. We grew together and prayed. I started going to real estate
classes.
Got my classes, got my license.
And you had your first sale. What was it? How many?
$2.5 million sale.
It was your first sale.
We're married 13.5 years, and I quit drinking and smoking 14.5 years ago.
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey, drugs, everything cold turkey, and I don't want it. I can't take it.
With no rehab.
No, nothing. Nothing.
So I find your story fascinating, and I know there's young people out there who will listen to this and relate to this, and I just want you to know that your value doesn't come from someone else. It doesn't come from who says what about you. It doesn't come from what job you have. It comes from you knowing that your being alone is valuable, and that no matter where you walk, no matter who you interact with, your being is powerful enough. And the person that guides you and the person that will protect you is an ultimate being that not only created the universe, but is also watching out for you. There may be bad things that happen, but you got to think all of the good things that's going to work together that puts all those bad things together for your best outcome. And what helps facilitate that faster is what I call prayer. So, Barbra, you talk to young people. Tell people how to reach you.
They could go on my website at www.stoverestates.com, STOVER Estates, ESTATES.com, and I'll be happy to speak at high schools, colleges, elementary schools, and just talk about my experience about how you can become successful no matter what anyone says. If you're Latina, Chinese, Black, you can do it, and I am there to help you. I love to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on our show. Well, now that gives it to you. This is the powerful story. I'm very happy to share it with you here on our show, Answers Unleashed. We're here on KPCRadio. This is the March 30th, 2016. For more shows like this, visit AnswersUnleashed.com. Call our number 888-88-ANSWERS, and find us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook. You can find me directly to find more podcasts at Facebook.com/Olympia LePoint. And remember, no matter what happens in your life, no matter what challenges that you face, you can overcome it. And there are always ways to reshape your brain with science and faith to find the answers in front of you. I am Olympia LePoint here with you on Answers Unleashed, and I'll see you next week.